Hello everyone and welcome. Today I've got 16 air dry clay project ideas. I'll be talking about some things you can make, some things you can decorate, and some other fun things you can do with air dry clay. And I did save the best ideas for last, so please stick around till the end of the video and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get started. Number one is trinket dishes and trays, and this is definitely one of the more common items, but I've included it for its simplicity and versatility. You can basically cut out any shape and then build walls around it to form a tray, and you can paint those trays as they are or add additional design elements to them like these koi fish. So this is a really great project for beginners, and if you're looking for something even simpler, you can also make dishes and trays using a form. Leaf dishes are a super popular idea for this because you get all of these wonderful textures without any of the extra work. So you can use any type of leaf, and I have seen some brilliant use of color with these. So there's definitely something for everyone. You can also use leaves and other plants to stamp designs onto shaped or formed trays. And you can use basically whatever you can find for these: small weeds, wild grasses and flowers, or ferns, and pine or cedar sprigs are great choices. Number two is magnets. These are really simple and fun to make, and because of their small size, they tend to dry much faster. Now, the most common choices for these are flowers and food and dessert items. I thought these coffee beans were really cute, but you can also make character magnets like these cute little frogs or these spring-themed gnomes, or recreate popular cartoon and video game characters. I thought these particular ones were very unique, and they would make great locker magnets for teens or tweens. Other unique options include magnet paintings, which are basically just tiny clay canvases, and mushroom magnets, which I am super excited to try. I don't have any yet, but I really love the texture and color on these ones. Number three is jewelry displays, and I am talking about pieces that are specifically designed for holding jewelry items, like these wall mushroom earring hangers. Now, these ones I made, but you can also do stationary stands. My daughter made me this one, and it's pretty unique. She used some colorful reindeer moss on the lower tray, and the top of it looks like a cotton candy sunset. And I recently found this wall mount necklace hanger that I would like to add to my collection as well. You can also make displays for your post style earrings. These are super simple, and you can make some basic stand-up ones or cut out some fun shapes to mount to the wall. I found these octopus and tentacle hangers that I thought were really cool, and I'm not sure if these were made from air dry clay, but why not? And you could even go a step further and pair them with one of these tentacle-themed ring dishes. Another option is jewelry trees, and you can do traditional branchy trees like these ones, or make them to look more like ocean corals, and these will hold all of your jewelry items at once. Number four is candle holders, and you can use taper, tea light, or votive candles. So this is another one that offers a lot of versatility. You can also choose between table decor, wall mounted, or even hanging designs, and you can decorate pre-purchased candle holders or make your own from scratch. Floral designs like these ones are really great for pillar candles and larger votives, and small votives and taper candles make great table centerpieces. I really love these tentacle ones, and I thought this snake was very different, but you could also go with something more traditional and festive like these ones. For tea lights, I found these adorable little campfire friends, and of course some more mushroom designs, because why not? Number five is bottles, and glass is a super popular choice for clay pieces, but air dry clay is wonderful for use on plastics like soda and water bottles. I thought this bottle pig was really cute, but you can also turn these into beautiful vases and indoor planters. And soda bottles in particular are excellent for making fairy houses and models. And you can use individual bottles like these ones, or you can trim them down and reassemble them using glue or tape and pair them with other materials such as foil or cardboard to create some really unique designs. You can also use larger like milk and detergent jugs for this, and these are really great for creating open concept designs like dioramas, or if you want to make some very miniatures to decorate the insides with. Even smaller plastics such as pill and medicine bottles and empty spice containers can be recycled into beautiful storage jars, and spray bottles, which is something that I would have never thought to decorate, and I think this is a super unique idea. Number 6 is paint palettes, and if you're working with air dry clay, you will likely find yourself in need of one of these. Now, just like trays, these smaller handheld style palettes are easy to make and can be made into any shape, and you can paint and decorate these if you want to match your own style. You can also make or decorate matching paint water cups to pair with them. And I really like the water cups that have the built-in brush holders, or you can go with larger tabletop designs. I thought these tree stump and mushroom ones were really, really pretty. Number 7 is yarn bowls, and these are super useful if you knit or crochet, and even if you don't, they would make a great gift item if you know someone who does, and I imagine that these would sell really well if you set up at craft shows or vendor events. And you can go with small, simple designs like these ones, or make larger bowls with more leads to hold multiple colors, or turn them into cute characters like this oxalotl or this frog one. And you can design these with other useful features as well, such as side compartments to hold things like tapestry needles and stitch markers. Number 8 is planters. Now again, you can create your own indoor planters from recycled plastic bottles, but you can also decorate pre-purchased planters in your home, or you can upcycle those ugly plastic planters that you get when you purchase most garden plants. The clay covering gives them a little bit more durability and makes them much more visually appealing, and they already have drainage holes in the bottoms. You can also make your own planters from scratch. I thought these little baby ones were really cute, and they would be great for herb gardens or small starts. Number 9 is plant decor, and I'm sure you guys are all familiar with your basic garden themed elements like mushrooms, gnomes, and snails or insects, but what about something more unique and creative? Like these planter snakes, I thought these were very different. They look like they're easy to make, and you can color or style them however you want to. I also found these little mushroom slugs that I am in love with. I think this is a super clever idea, and they are so cute. Next up, I have mandrake sculptures, and these are truly one of a kind. They're very expressive, so they're a lot of fun to make, and you can make them to look creepy or cute. Now, these are root mandrakes, but you can also do bulb mandrakes like these cute onion and flower bulbs, or create your own plant or stone type characters like these ones. Forest themed designs like these little entlings with their moss and mushrooms are great choices, and I thought these flower spirits were very whimsical as well. Tentacle stakes are super easy to make, and they look good in any planter, or you can skip the plant altogether and create larger mandrakes or other nature-inspired creatures to fill those planters with. Number 10 is lighter cases, and this is one of my favorite ideas. You can do any design on any type of lighter, and you can purchase blank sleeves to decorate or make your own from scratch. My daughter and I have made several of these over the years from both polymer and air dry clay, and while polymer clay tends to be easier to work with, especially for finer detailed pieces, I feel like the air dry clay provides a much better quality finish in terms of hardness and durability. Now, air dry clay does tend to shrink a little bit as it dries, so if you're making these from scratch, you will want to remove the lighter from the sleeve to prevent cracking, and air dry clay, once cured, can be sanded down on the inside to make sure you get a nice snug fit with that lighter when it's done. Number 11 is clay on canvas, and I love textured and 3D art. So this is a project that I'm very fond of, and you can create some really cool 3D visuals with air dry clay. Snake designs are the simplest of these and serve as a great starting point for beginners if you've never made a piece like this before. But my favorite ideas for this are floral and ocean themed designs like these ones. These are both very broad categories that offer a lot of options, and ocean corals and floral elements like flowers and leaves are generally easy to make, which allows for even beginner sculptors to create stunning 3D canvases using very, very simple techniques. And these types of pieces are generally assembled freehand, but depending on what you're making, you can sketch out your design first and then use that sketch as a guide to add your clay pieces. Air dry clay is also great for use on painted canvases. Subtle clay borders are great for adding texture and can really bring some depth and dimension to a painting. And if you don't have a traditional canvas, you can do this on just about anything. Tile and wood pieces are great choices, or you can make your own clay slab canvases or decorate frames or journal and album covers. Number 12 is texture tools, and I think this is a genius idea. Rod and tubular type rollers are common choices, and these are good for creating background textures, especially over larger areas. You can also make the round wheel style rollers, and these are perfect for borders and transitionary lines, or you can make the ball style rollers, which are great for subtle and wandering textures. You can also make your own clay stamps, and you can go with basic texture or shaped stamps, but this is especially good for creating patterned designs that are very symmetrical and repetitive like these ones. And regardless of what type of tool you're making, there are all kinds of things that you can use to create texture on these pieces. So you can carve out custom designs by hand, or you can use hand sculpted, molded, or cut out pieces for your design elements. You can also imprint textures from other surfaces. Stone, wood, and bark are great choices, but you can also use things around your home, such as lace or produce netting, just to name a few. And just keep in mind when you're making these that carved or imprinted designs will produce raised textures and vice versa. Number 13 is air dry clay slip, and this is a pottery term. For those of you who aren't familiar, clay slip is still clay, just in a much thinner consistency. And you can make this at home using air dry clay, water, and a little bit of vinegar. And I'm not going to go through the whole process in this video, but essentially what you're left with is a pasty clay substance that looks and feels similar to yogurt. Now, this is most commonly used as a bonding agent. It's great for reinforcing seams, or you can score surfaces and use it just like liquid Sculpey to stick pieces together. But you can also use clay slip to create surface textures, and this can be applied with various painting or sculpting tools similar to the way texture paste is used, or you can pipe it on, and this is really great for accent designs like this one with much thinner lines, or finer detailed work like all of those little bumps that you see on lizard skin. This is also a great method for adding custom names or other text elements. Now, this is referred to as slip trailing for those of you who are interested in learning more, and you can use makeshift or cake piping tools, but they do make pottery tools that are specifically designed for this type of work. Another option is slip casting, and this is something that I've had very, very little success with. I couldn't get my slip to fully cure in any of my silicone molds, and in a more solid mold, it did harden like it's supposed to, but I noticed significant shrinkage, and I ran into a lot of problems with air bubbles and holes. Having said that, my slip works wonderfully as a bonding agent, and my slip trailings dry solid with almost no shrinkage. Number 14 is earbud chargers and cases, and this is a lot less common, so I didn't find a whole lot for these online. I did find a few random images that look like they might be air dry clay, and only a handful of short videos. I did find a lot of really cool design ideas though. I thought these cookies were really cute, and I love this skeleton one, and I'm pretty sure that these are made of silicone, but you could certainly use air dry clay. This is one that I'm currently working on for my daughter, and this was pretty easy to make. I left the bottom of it open here where the charger plugs into it, and I did have to cut away a small section off of the back side behind the lid in order for it to open all the way. And you can do full wraparound designs, or you can make covers or decorative pieces to glue to the outside. Number 15 is USB charging blocks, and please let me know in the comments below if any of you have ever heard of this idea or tried it. Oddly enough, I was not able to find a single image, video, or post of any kind for this idea, and I feel like I can't be the only one who's done this. Now, this idea started with my angry daughter, whose younger siblings were constantly stealing and claiming her charging block. So I not only decorated it for her, but I also added her name to the back of it so no one can steal it. Now, these come in all different styles and sizes, and it's best to use the blocks that have the prongs on one end and the port on the other end so that you can wrap the clay around and just leave those areas open. Charging blocks with side ports are easy to work around. You can just cut out those holes, being careful to make sure that you don't get any moisture in there. And I would avoid the chargers with the side prongs, as the clay covering might prevent them from pushing into the wall, unless you have one like this that has a raised section and doesn't set flat with the outlet. Number 16, and my number one favorite project idea, is incense burners. And I'm sure most of you are thinking of the common stick incense burners like these ones. They are pretty and simple to make. Incense cones are great for closed designs like this mushroom house and this spooky ghost, but I recently discovered these backflow incense burners, also known as smoke fountains or waterfall burners. These are used with backflow incense cones, which I didn't even know was a thing, and you can do smaller, simple designs like these cute pond themed ones, or you can build larger or taller sculptures like these lily pads or these mushrooms. Now, the mushroom one here I made, and despite being my first attempt at this, it turned out really, really well. I'm really happy with my color choices, and it works just like it's supposed to. Here is that full list for you guys. If you enjoyed this video or you're looking for more project ideas, please click here to check out my covered in clay video. That video is focused a little bit more towards polymers, but many of those items would be great choices for air dry clay as well. And I did steal a few of them for this video with a little bit more emphasis on plastics. That is all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.